few days ago, I finished my 10-day reset. 10 days of slowing down, paying attention, and making room just to be with myself. Since the reset ended, I've been thinking about what happens now, because I didn't make all that room just so I could immediately feel it again, but I also wasn't trying to escape my life either. I was trying to get quiet enough to ask myself some bigger questions. What do I actually want my life to look like? What are we working toward? What does freedom look like for our family? And what do we want to leave behind? So Jeremiah and I decided to get out of the house today. We decided to head to Baltimore, hop on a train, find some coffee in a bookstore or place to work, and spend some time talking about our life. We don't have some grand master plan already figured out, but we do believe if we work together and take our time, we can figure it out. Almost immediately, the day didn't go as planned. Just as we boarded the train, we had to deboard to switch trains because there was a mechanical issue. And there was a time when something like that could have immediately made the whole trip feel stressful. But we weren't rushing. We were making time. We didn't have somewhere we absolutely had to be at a particular moment, so we could lean into the slowdown. We waited, we talked, we enjoyed where we were in the moment. And because of the inconvenience, the trip ended up being complimentary. I remember thinking, this is a part of what I mean when I say freedom. Not a life where nothing inconvenient ever happens, but a life with enough margin that every inconvenience doesn't have to become an emergency. We got to Baltimore and found our first coffee shop. And, well, it just wasn't it. It was noisy. It wasn't really the environment we imagined for sitting down and having the kind of conversation we wanted to have. And again, we had a choice. We could stay because we'd already gotten there. We could force it. We could try to make it work. Or we could leave. So we did. We spent a few moments and found another place, called an Uber, and headed there. Our driver was wonderful. We talked the whole way. We didn't record any of that, and I'm glad we didn't, because some moments are just for living. And the second place? Perfect. This was what we were looking for. So we sat down, we placed our order, and we started talking about money, about business, about our family, our individual dreams, and increasingly what we want to build together. Jeremiah and I have spent a lot of our lives working and building our individual things. He has his work, I have mine. We've supported each other in those things, and that's been good. But we're starting to ask a different question now. What are we building? And we don't completely know yet, but we know some things. We want to be debt-free. We want to be financially secure. We want to build wealth, not simply for the sake of having more, but we want freedom. To pursue the things we're passionate about, to create, to travel, to experiment, to be present with our family. Freedom to make decisions based on what we believe matters, not simply on what we can afford to do. And I think that's one of the things slowing down has made clearer for me. I don't just want more time. I want to become more intentional about what my time is for. And then, of course, there's legacy. We're thinking about our boys. What are we leaving them? Certainly we want to leave them something financially, but I think legacy is bigger than money. What did they watch us build? What did we teach them about ownership? What did we teach them about freedom of time and space and agency? And what did we teach them about creativity or creating, about taking risks, about starting over when something no longer fits? And beyond our family, what will exist in the world because we were here? We're still figuring out what that answer looks like, but I'm realizing that maybe we don't need to have the entire blueprint yet. Maybe we just need to be willing to ask ourselves the question. And appropriately enough, the train home was delayed too. Once again, because of the inconvenience, our trip was complimentary. So we waited, grabbed some donuts and snacks, no panic, no feeling like the day was ruined. We just adjusted. And eventually we made our way back. Standing at Union Station waiting for our Uber home, I kept thinking about the day. Nothing particularly extraordinary happened. We rode public transit, we drank coffee, we changed plans, we talked to a stranger, browsed books, talked about money, dreamed about our future, waited on delayed trains, and somehow, I think this is exactly what life after the reset is supposed to look like. Not another challenge, not trying to preserve 10 perfect days, just paying attention to how I live the days I already have. Maybe I don't want a life that's always slow. I want a life that's always intentional. A life with enough margin to change trains without panicking, enough freedom to leave the coffee shop that isn't working to find one that is, enough openness to enjoy a conversation with a stranger that wasn't on the itinerary, enough security to pursue the things we're passionate about, enough vision to build something together, and enough wisdom to think beyond what we want right now to what we want to leave behind. We didn't come home today with a master plan. We're still figuring that out. But I think we came home with better questions. And right now, that's enough. I spent 10 days making room. Now I'm paying attention to what I want to do with it. This is life after the reset.